Aloha! Hey, it's absolutely gorgeous out here today. The temperature's very cool, sitting here in the shade anyway. Out there in the sun, it's a little bit warmer, but not too much. What's going on, Eric? How you doing? Hey, Eric, can you hear me okay, or is the wind muffling the sound too much? It's kind of breezy out here today. Let's see if we can moving stuff around a little bit. What's going on, Russ? Thought you was out hiking today. Got people messaging me while I'm trying to do my Facebook Live video, man. All right, perfect. Thanks, Eric. Hey, what would you guys do if you had been, there was one winner evidently for that $759 million lottery. Family first, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to be careful. The thing is with that philanthropy is it's kind of difficult. People don't realize just how difficult that can be when you're talking about giving away lump sums of money to certain charities. I'm going to tell you here in just a minute. My wife and I recently had this conversation about this lottery, and then we saw, I think it was Mark Cuban who posted he suggested what to do if you won the lottery, and somebody's looking for me, it was pretty much right in line with what Mark Cuban had suggested. Oh, okay, you're on break. Awesome. I'd love to see some pictures, Russ. When is the draw? This draw already happened, man. Evidently, I was looking online. I was looking for it. One person won it, but several million other people won portions of that lottery. Many people won $1 million because they got 5 out of 6 numbers. But the question is, what would you do? What would you do? Post right now. What would you do if you was to win that lottery? Now, here was the option. The option was to take a lump sum, which it's 36.9% is taxed right off the top. That's the highest tax bracket. The government's going to withhold 25% right off the bat, and then you're going to pay the rest at tax time. But so you figure even if you get 500 million lump sum, would you take the lump sum? Or I think what the actual other option was to take basically $700,000 a month for the rest for a period of time, which is basically the rest of your life, that would continue on generations for sure. So first question, would you take the lump sum, or would you take the $700,000 a month? My Lord, I couldn't imagine $700,000 a month. You know what you do with that? Well, actually, I could, because we talked about it. Teresa and I talked about it. And yeah, definitely. I would definitely, no doubt. Me too, Justin. Take the $700K a month for sure. But what would you do with it then? What would you do? Would you invest any of it? Would you just let it sit in the bank? What would be your lifestyle? Would you buy a house? If so, where? A car, philanthropy, stuff like that, like we just talked about. What would you do? What are your thoughts? I'd love to see what you guys have to say. So here's what we came up with. This is what we came up with. And number one, the first thing is, philanthropy is one thing, absolutely, but I would do it in a way that we would travel to other countries, and we would find contractors in those countries to help build schools, clinics, stuff like that. We would hire those contractors. We'd do it ourselves. We wouldn't give the money to some other organization. Like there is an organization out there that I do support, is Pencils of Promise. Pencils of Promise builds schools all over the world in developing countries. They do amazing things, and 100% of what you donate to that organization goes into, they have it structured in such a way that you can either donate to the business or donate to the cause. In either case, 100% of that, your donation goes towards whichever side you decide to donate to. It's a great plan. But we would want to be involved. We would want to go and watch these houses and clinics and schools be built. We'd want to be able to be a part of the whole process from start to finish. Hire the contractors and the whole bit. So obviously we would travel, and travel is a big piece of that. Another thing for us is the kids are over here playing and obviously like to get involved in the videos. The other thing is I lost my thought process. The other thing that we would consider, of course, travel. We would love to travel. Hey, Lily, how you doing? I'd love for you to answer the question and see what you guys think about what you do with all that money. But, as far as investing, why? Why do you invest in the first place but to have a nest egg later on in the future, right? Or a nest egg for future generations. With 400, figure about $500 million you get lump sum, or 700,000 a month forever, basically. There would be no reason to invest in anything. You keep that money is just going to grow by itself, just sitting in the bank. People talk about depreciation and stuff, but that's a whole lot of damn money, and it's definitely going to grow without a doubt. So I wouldn't invest in anything. There would be no reason to invest other than investing in the education of others, investing in the lives of others, bettering other people in various ways, like I already talked about. But here's the real thing. As I say, 20 exactly, absolutely, too easy. And I would be very humble in living that. There was a time when I would have gone out and bought, $100,000 cars and all this other kind of garbage. That's just not who I am today, not who I am. But the thing is, the real question is, and the real point that I want to make is, of all the stuff that, the littler stuff, other than the huge purchases, the things you would do, travel, live where you want to live, spend more time with family, focus on education, and I'm not talking about traditional education necessarily. I'm not talking about getting into a university or college. For the most part, because of the cost of that, I believe that's more of a scam than anything. People are coming out of debt. 54% of the people that go to college don't even graduate, but they still have that debt. But I'm getting on another tangent. The fact is, you can do most of the things that you would do if you had won the lottery. You can spend more time with family, you can travel, you can live wherever the hell you want. You just got to make a decision, maybe change your vocation. You're not a tree. You can pick up and move like Lily did. Lily and Andy Trujillo, Andy took off and went and worked in Alaska for a while. Lily joined him for a little bit, and they had a hell of an experience. They figured out if they liked it or not, and they made their decision on what they were going to do for the rest of it. And they can, that in itself is a huge education and an awesome experience. You cannot replace those type of experiences. You can't have those experiences sitting in your little hometown wondering, how you can ever get out and do other things. I personally know people. I recently had a conversation with Chris Guillebeau on Men of Abundance. Go check it out, menofabundance.com. I think it was episode 110 or 111. Look up Chris Guillebeau at menofabundance.com. He has traveled to every single country in the world, 193 countries, I think it is, and he has he figured out a way to make money along the way, and helped other people do the same. Simply amazing. So you can travel and make money at the same time, and fund your travels. You don't have to have millions of dollars to do that. He didn't have millions of dollars when he did that. He just did it. And actually, when he got started, it was because he was in Africa and he was doing some humanitarian work in Africa and traveled around doing that way. And once he got to about 100 countries, he started blogging about it, started sharing his experience, started getting sponsors, started monetizing it, just enough to pay for his way to get around the world. So, don't let those excuses get in your way. All right, guys, I got to get going. My son keeps calling me. I don't know what he's up to. He's probably wondering where I'm at. But think about that. Think about what you would do with the lottery winnings today. What would you do? What can you do without the lottery winnings that you're just making excuses about? That you're saying you don't have the time to go live wherever you want, or travel, or spend the right time with family, or do other things that you want to do. Think about it. All right, go check out menofabundance.com. Check out my podcast. It is in, last count, I think like 60 countries around the world. Super amazing. I absolutely love it. And I'm talking to some amazing people that you might be able to learn something from. All right, take care. Aloha.